This is dough, $1. This is also dough, $3.99. I've got friends coming over in about an hour and there's pizzas to make. And I'm gonna be talking about what it takes to never work again on an American budget. But first, let's talk about what life costs. Because there's plenty of people making 6 figures or more each year, but they don't think about their cost of living. And despite having a healthy income, they can't save or invest. There's actually a popular movement called FIRE, Financial Independence Retire Early. And a baseline concept in that community is that it's not really about your income, it's about your spending. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics tracks this with a consumer expenditure survey. And in 2024, here's what the average household spent per year by income group. The bottom 20% spent $35,046. The second 20% spent around $50,000. The next 20% was about $67,000. The next 20% was about $90,000, and the top 20% was around $150,000 a year. How do people do this? The FIRE community actually has a concept I just learned about that I find really helpful. They look at the bottom, middle, and top slices and say that if you're able to retire based on that expenditure, then you are lean FIRE, regular FIRE, or fat FIRE. It's their way of saying that you've achieved financial independence and retired early because you've studied yourself and learned what your annual expenses add up to, and then you've collected 25 times that amount. For the rest of this video, let's work with the middle 20% because that's the median American life. So the odds are, if you're watching this, you're spending about that much per year or less. So why 25x? That number comes from 1994 when a financial advisor named Bill Bengen ran what was at the time a pretty radical experiment. He took every 30-year stretch of US market history going back to 1926 and asked, what's the most that you could pull out of a portfolio each year adjusted for inflation without ever running out? The answer was 4%. And since then, a lot of investors have started calling this the 4% rule. In year 1, you would take out 4% of your portfolio. And then in year 2, you would adjust the dollar amount for inflation and pull that, and so on. You just keep doing that year after year, and his thesis is that you'd be okay for 3 decades. His test even survived the Great Depression. And 25x isn't a separate rule, it's just the 4% rule backwards. Bengen was trying to help people with money figure out how much to take out annually. But the FIRE community had the opposite problem. They're younger with less money saved, trying to figure out how much money they need. What's the goal that they should set? 100% of a person's portfolio divided by 4 is 25. Another way to say it is, based on Bengen's math, if you wanted to live on 1 slice of pizza per year, you'd need 25 total slices before confidently starting that strategy. So if our pizza slice was $66,900 and we multiply that by 25, we would need a $1,672,500 pizza to live off of. Now you know. The traditional FIRE mindset is to escape work as fast as humanly possible. And people do it. They'll save up to 70% of their income for a decade to get there, which honestly, a part of me loves the idea of that. But I think there's a much more balanced approach for most people, and it's FIPOM. Financial independence and peace of mind. That's the saying we use at the financial advisory firm that I work for, and we focus on peace of mind because of studies like this one from 2024 by the American Psychological Association, which shows that 73% of Americans say the economy is a significant source of stress in their life.
Stop!
Allergies. FIRE treats the retirement number as a finish line. Nothing counts until you cross it. But FIPOM brings a different mindset. Because the peace of mind doesn't show up all at once on the day you hit 25x of your expenses. It shows up gradually along the process. 1 month of expenses saved and invested is better than nothing. Celebrate that. 6 months is better than 1. Celebrate that. This comes down to mental work that you do. To not let 10 precious years of your life be stolen away, but to think about something that you want to experience and do this year and each year after that. You start getting paid in peace of mind and new valuable memories way before you're anywhere near your 25x retirement number. You have a solid goal and your life is a little bit sweeter. This is actually a challenge for you to grow beyond your comfort lane of just grinding away. I know that I can get into that. This challenges you to live a bigger life where you have experiences, you host a hangout, you meet some quality new people, and you have responsibilities. Ooh, it's so close. The goal of FIPOM shifts from quitting work forever to be at liberty to do the work that you want to do, which sounds like a small difference, but it's huge and backed by some fascinating research. There's a paper from 2010 called Mental Retirement by Rohwedder and Willis. Retiring early had a measurable negative effect on cognitive ability for people in their early 60s. And there's another study which found that verbal memory declined 38% faster after retirement than before. But this comes down to the way you define retirement. Think about if there's anything you can still do in life. Think about work as a way that you could contribute to the world around you rather than just something you have to be a slave to. We believe that one way to have fulfillment and peace in life is to somehow contribute back to the world. And that's the whole message of this video. Set a goal, work towards the goal, but question your real end result. Is it to quit work for good? Do you want to reach a point where you never lift a finger again? Research shows that might not lead you to being your healthiest and best self. But if your end goal is to find yourself doing more of the stuff that gives you life, then we argue you could switch from FIRE to FIPOM and start doing things now that increase your life as well as save. A 2019 study followed almost 7,000 adults over 50 years old and found that a stronger sense of purpose in life was associated with lower all-cause mortality. They called purpose a modifiable risk factor, meaning it's not just a part of you as something that you're stuck with, it's something you can actually go build. My thought on this is, no matter your age, start a bucket list. Think of one thing that you could do this year that will help make it memorable for you for the rest of your life. One thing I'm doing is hosting a pizza party with some of my favorite people, and it cost me $200. FIPOM is making space for goals today, more goals, experiences, more contribution, more fulfillment. And if that's for you, subscribe and I'll see you next week for another video.